All right, so let's get right into it. Something major is happening along the coast of Andhra Pradesh. We're talking blocked roads, thousands of people protesting, and the air is just thick with desperation. And look, this isn't just any protest. This is really a fight for survival. You've got these fishing communities pitted against this huge wave of industrial development, the kind that promises jobs and economic growth for the whole state. And this quote, wow, it just cuts right to the heart of the whole thing, doesn't it? I mean, for generations, the sea was everything to them, their provider. But now, they're saying it's turned into a source of poison, and they're watching their way of life just collapse right in front of them. So here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just one big protest happening in one place. Nope, we're actually seeing these huge demonstrations pop up in two different districts. And yeah, on the surface, they look kind of the same, you know? You see the blocked highways, you hear the passionate speeches, but the actual reasons, the triggers, they're a little bit different. Okay, let's break this down, because the distinction is key. Over in Anakapali, the fight is, well, it's preventative. The fishermen there are terrified of a proposed bulk drug park. The state wants to become this big pharmaceutical hub, right? And they're worried about what it's going to do to their environment in the future. But then you go over to the Apadata region in Kakinada, and it's a totally different story. Their fight is reactive. For them, they're saying the damage is already done. They believe the existing factories have already turned their precious fishing grounds into a wasteland. And this really gets to the core of their anguish. You hear them chanting, poison in the sea, hunger in the stomach. And it's not just a slogan. For them, it's their daily reality. So let's take a look at the kind of impact they're talking about. It's staggering. 90%. Just let that sink in for a second. Imagine your income, your entire livelihood, just slashed by 90%, almost overnight. That is the kind of catastrophic drop in their fish catch that the fishermen in Apada are reporting. I mean, when you hear a number like that, it suddenly makes a lot of sense why they've taken to the streets, right? And this quote, it really captures the sensory reality behind that huge number. The fishermen are describing a sea that actually smells of chemicals. They're saying newborn fish are dying pretty much instantly when they touch the water. The pollution, they claim, is so bad that they can spend days out on the water and their nets still come back completely empty. So look at this timeline. It shows you just how fast their world got turned upside down. I mean, just a year ago, things were basically normal. But then, about 8 months back, they say the industrial discharge got way more intense, and bam, their catch just plummeted. And now, well, their savings are gone, and protesting out on the highway, it feels like the only thing they have left to do. Okay, and this is where things get really political. All that anger, all that desperation, it's all being aimed at one person, the actor-turned-politician, Pawan Kalyan. And you have to understand, he's not just any politician. He's their local MLA, he's the deputy chief minister of the state, and, this is the crucial part, he's also the minister for the environment. And this is why they feel so betrayed. The protesters are saying that during his campaign, Pawan Kalyan was right there, on this very stretch of coast. He promised them he'd shut down the polluting factories. He even told them, hey, if I don't do it, you can grab me by the collar. So now that he's in power, well, they're taking him at his word. And that's why this question is just echoing through all the protests. Where is our MLA? It's more than a question. It's a chant that just captures all of their frustration. I mean, they voted for him, they believed in what he promised, and now, when they're in the middle of this crisis, they feel completely abandoned. So, what is it they actually want? Well, their demands are crystal clear, and they're not budging. Number 1, shut down the factories that they blame for all this pollution. Number 2, they want their MLA, the deputy CM himself, to come and face them in person. And number 3, and this is a big one, no more talk, no more verbal promises. They want a written, legally binding guarantee. All right, so how did the government respond to all this? I mean, with the protests escalating, blocking major highways for days on end, the state government and the deputy CM's office had to say something. And they did. They issued a formal response. So the official statement, it acknowledged the fishermen's struggle, it expressed a lot of understanding for their plight, but, and it's a big but, it also explained why Pawan Kalyan couldn't actually go to the protest site himself. The reasons given were that he had assembly sessions to attend and was also reportedly down with a fever. So instead of a personal visit from the deputy CM, the government proposed a much more, well, a methodical, procedural solution. Their idea? A high-level committee. The thinking is, let's get everyone to the table. let's do a proper scientific study to figure out what the pollution's impact really is. We'll hear directly from the community, and then, based on all that, we can come up with a concrete, evidence-based plan.
And, from the government's point of view, this looks like a really comprehensive approach. The committee they're proposing is designed to be super inclusive. You've got experts from the Pollution Control Board, officials from all the relevant departments, and most importantly, representatives from the fishing communities themselves, along with their local leaders.
But this is exactly where we hit a wall. The government's very structured, very procedural response has just slammed into the raw emotion and, frankly, the deep-seated mistrust of the fishermen. And what that's created is this incredibly tense standoff. The fishermen's reaction to this whole committee idea? It was swift, and it was an absolute no. This quote really sums it up perfectly. They just see committees as a delay tactic. I mean, they filed so many petitions before and feel like they just got ignored. For them, the only thing that's going to work, the only acceptable resolution, is for the leader they elected to show up and intervene personally. And that right there is the heart of the impasse. You've got the government on one side offering a process, a committee, studies, solutions for the future, and on the other side, you've got the community demanding a person, their leader, an immediate guarantee, and for a past promise to be fulfilled. The gap between those two positions, it's just immense. So where does that leave us? We're left with this big, unanswered question. As the protests drag on and both sides remain completely deadlocked, this fundamental conflict, a state pushing for industrial growth and all the jobs that come with it, versus preserving a traditional way of life that depends on a really fragile environment, it just hangs in the balance. And for the families who have lived off this coast for centuries, this question isn't just political or economic, it's truly existential.